All right, so you're getting ready for that bank manager interview, and you want to really knock it out of the park. We're diving deep today into all kinds of resources from RoleCatcher. They have career guides, interview guides, and we'll even get into how AI is changing how we apply for jobs and get hired these days. This is going to be more than just giving you some quick tips. We're really diving deep into the skills and knowledge you need, and also the right mindset to land this job.
I think one of the coolest things about RoleCatcher is it's not just telling you what to say, it's helping you understand the why behind each question. And really how to showcase your skills and experience in a way that truly resonates with these hiring managers.
I love that. So before we even think about getting into the interview hot seat, let's step back and paint a picture of what this role really is.
Absolutely. It's crucial to understand what you're getting into because it's more than just crunching numbers. You're leading teams, you're setting strategies, hitting those financial targets, and making sure everything is squeaky clean on the compliance front. So it's a dynamic role, that's for sure.
Multiple hats, high stakes. Sounds intense. But there's some serious perks too, right?
Absolutely. There's high earning potential, there's room for growth, and a level of job stability that is really attractive these days. But of course, there's the flip side. We've got to be real. There are long hours, there's pressure to perform, and then just dealing with all of the curveballs that life throws your way.
You got to have resilience, adaptability, a strong work ethic. You can't crumble under pressure. So
Yeah.
how does all this translate into the actual interview? What are they really looking for?
Well, that's where RoleCatcher's interview guide really shines. They've identified 10 key questions that you're likely to face. So let's break them down step by step.
Okay, so let's dive right in. First question, a classic. Tell me about your experience working in the banking industry. Seems straightforward, but I bet there's more to it.
There definitely is. This is your chance to really connect the dots for them. You don't want to just list every job you've ever held. Instead, you want to highlight experiences that directly relate to what a bank manager does and the responsibilities. Think about things like customer interactions, team leadership. Maybe you had a project where you streamlined a process or boosted sales. And whenever possible, quantify your achievements. Remember, numbers speak volumes.
Okay, so it's about tailoring your story to what they're looking for. Now, what about a follow-up question like, what are your strengths and weaknesses as they relate to this role? Ooh, that one always makes me sweat a little.
I hear you. Honesty is key, but you've got to frame it strategically. Choose a strength that really aligns with what's in the job description. So maybe it's your communication skills,
Yeah.
your ability to motivate teams, your knack for problem solving. But when it comes to addressing a weakness, you can actually spin it into an area of growth. So, for example, you could say, I'm always striving to improve my delegation skills. So I've been taking courses and actively seeking feedback.
Oh, that's a great way to turn a potential negative into a positive. Okay, just let they throw you a curveball. Describe a time you had to deal with a difficult customer. What was your approach and what was the outcome?
All right, so this is where you get to show off your conflict resolution superpowers. Choose an example where you stayed calm, you stayed empathetic, and you found a solution. Maybe you de-escalated a tense situation. Maybe you negotiated a compromise, or even turned a frustrated customer into a loyal one. The key here is to highlight your active listening skills and your ability to see things from the customer's perspective.
It's not about avoiding conflict. It's showing you can handle it with grace and professionalism. Okay, so we've talked about experience, strengths and weaknesses, dealing with difficult customers. What about that question that everybody dreads? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Ugh, the crystal ball question, right? Basically, they're trying to understand your ambition. And if that aligns with the company's goals, be realistic, of course, but show them that you're driven and eager to grow. You could say something like, I see myself continuing to develop my leadership skills and expertise in, and then you can mention a specific area that's relevant to that bank, and potentially taking on larger teams or projects. The point is, you're connecting your aspirations to their opportunities. It shows you've done your homework.
That's really smart. Now, RoleCatcher mentioned something about AI being part of this whole process. Where does that come in?
This is where it gets really interesting. So imagine this. You're prepping for this specific interview, and RoleCatcher's AI analyzes the job description. It pinpoints keywords and skills that they're looking for, and then it helps you tailor your answers to hit those key points. So it increases your chances of really standing out. It's like having a personalized interview coach in your back pocket.
Wait a second. So it's not just generic advice. It's specific to this job.
Exactly. And there's more. You can actually practice answering these questions with RoleCatcher's AI, and it'll give you feedback on your clarity, your relevance, and even suggest improvements. It's next level interview prep.
Wow. I'm starting to see why everybody's talking about RoleCatcher. Okay, so we've covered some of those tough questions, but there's so much more to talk about.
Welcome back. All right, so we've already tackled some pretty tough interview questions, but let's keep that momentum going. Remember, preparation is really the key to feeling confident and showing them your best self.
Absolutely. I'm ready for more. What other curveballs should we be prepared for?
Okay, so how about this one? How do you stay updated on industry trends and changes in regulations? Ah, this is where they want to see that you are proactive and
Right.
committed to continuous learning.
Right, because the banking world is constantly evolving. So it's not enough to just say, oh, I read the news.
Exactly. You got to be specific. Mention industry publications, professional organizations that you follow,
Yeah.
online courses you've taken, or even just like recent regulatory changes that you've been paying attention to. RoleCatcher's Career Guide actually lists several resources you could mention.
Oh, that's handy. So proactive learning, check. What about leadership skills? I imagine that's a big one for bank managers.
Absolutely. A question like, how do you motivate your team to meet goals?
Hmm.
That's almost guaranteed to come up. So this is your chance to really showcase your leadership style.
Yeah, they're definitely looking for more than just setting targets and hoping for the best.
Exactly. Think about creating a supportive environment where people feel valued and empowered. Share some examples of how you've delegated effectively, provided constructive feedback, celebrated team wins. Maybe you implemented a mentorship program or something, or fostered open communication to boost morale.
So it's not just about hitting numbers, it's also about the human side of it too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got leadership covered. Now what about those tricky situations where you have to try to balance competing priorities?
Oh, that's a great point. They might ask you something like, how do you balance the needs of the bank with the needs of the customers? So it's about finding that sweet spot where you're upholding the bank's policies and procedures, but also ensuring that those customers feel heard and valued.
Sounds like a tightrope walk sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Any tips on how to answer that one?
Well, think about a specific situation where you had to make a tough call. Maybe you had to deny a loan application, but then you found alternative solutions for that customer. Or maybe you had to implement a new fee structure, but you communicated it clearly and addressed customer concerns. It's about showing you can make those tough decisions, but still prioritize both the bank's interests and customer satisfaction.
Okay, so it's about demonstrating sound judgment
Yeah.
and clear communication. Now, I know we touched on AI earlier, but how can RoleCatcher really help me nail these answers?
Well, remember that AI feedback tool that we mentioned before? You can practice your answers out loud or even record yourself on video. And the AI analyzes your responses and gives you this personalized feedback. It's almost like having a personal interview coach.
Wow, that's impressive. It's like having a secret weapon to help you ace that interview. So we've covered a lot of ground, we've tackled those tough questions, and we've explored how RoleCatcher can help craft amazing answers. What else should I be thinking about as I continue to prepare?
Well, let's shift gears for a second. Let's look beyond the interview itself, because RoleCatcher's Career Guide also gives us some really valuable insights into the essential skills and knowledge that you'll need to really excel as a bank manager.
Okay, so it's not just about talking the talk, it's about walking the walk. So what are some of those key skills?
Active listening is crucial. You have to be able to truly understand those customer needs and tailor your solutions accordingly. It's the foundation for building trust and rapport.
Right. Strong communication is obviously a must-have in any leadership role. What else stands out?
Critical thinking. That is absolutely essential for analyzing financial data, assessing risks, and just developing those strategic solutions. So you'll need to be able to think logically, objectively, and creatively to really navigate those complex situations.
Okay, so if a customer comes in with a really complicated financial situation, I need to be able to see the big picture and come up with a plan that works for everyone.
Exactly. And let's not forget monitoring skills. As a bank manager, you'll be responsible for overseeing your team's performance, providing feedback and support to help them succeed.
So not micromanaging, but being a good coach and mentor.
Precisely. It's about fostering that culture of accountability and continuous improvement. Now, the Career Guide also highlights the importance of certain knowledge areas.
Like what? I'm guessing a solid grasp of economics and accounting is pretty important.
Oh, you got it. You need a really strong foundation in these areas to analyze those financial statements, assess profitability, and make sound financial decisions.
Makes sense. How about things like administration and management?
Also crucial. Think about strategic planning, resource allocation, human resources management. All of that is essential for running a successful bank branch.
And of course, customer service is paramount in the banking industry.
Absolutely. So a bank manager needs to be knowledgeable about providing exceptional service, assessing those customer needs, and ensuring customer satisfaction.
It's all about building those strong relationships.
Exactly. And remember, the banking industry is constantly evolving. Continuous learning is really the key to staying ahead of the curve.
So attending conferences, reading industry publications, taking online courses, those would all be good ways to stay informed.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher's Career Guide actually provides a list of resources that you can explore to enhance your knowledge.
This is all super helpful. I'm feeling much more prepared already.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on, I want to touch on something really cool that RoleCatcher offers.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So they've actually incorporated AI into their platform to help you even further with your interview prep. It's called AI feedback. It's like having a seasoned interviewer right there in your pocket.
Wait, really? How does that work?
Well, imagine you've prepared what you think is a fantastic answer to a really tough interview question. You can run it through RoleCatcher's AI feedback tool, and it'll analyze your response.
And what happens next?
Well, it provides insightful feedback on the clarity, the relevance, and the impact of your answer. It might suggest stronger examples, a more concise delivery, or even recommend a different approach altogether.
Wow. So it's like having a personal coach that can point out areas for improvement and offer specific advice.
Exactly. But here's where it gets even cooler.
You mentioned it gets even cooler. I'm all ears.
Well, it goes beyond surface-level feedback. This AI can actually assess the tone and sentiment of your response, thanks to the power of natural language processing.
Oh, wow. So it can tell if I sound nervous or arrogant or not confident enough. That's incredible.
Exactly. It helps you fine-tune your delivery and make sure you're projecting the right image. It's like having a secret weapon to really master that interview.
RoleCatcher has thought of everything. So we've covered the interview questions, the essential skills, and even this mind-blowing AI feedback. As I go on this bank manager journey, what's the one key takeaway I should really remember?
Here's a final thought. You know, the career guide briefly touched on digital banking. As you move forward, think about this. How do you envision the bank manager role evolving over the next 5 years, given the rise of digital banking?
That's a great point. It makes me think beyond just this interview and look at the bigger picture.
Exactly. Will it become more about managing technology and data? Will customer interactions shift even further online? How will leadership skills need to adapt to a more virtual environment?
These are all important questions. It's not just about keeping up with technology. It's about understanding how customer needs and expectations are changing too.
Right. The bank manager of the future needs to be tech-savvy, data-driven, and really capable of building relationships in a digital world. It's an exciting time to be in banking. There's so much potential for growth and innovation.
So it's not just about landing the job. It's about constantly learning and evolving to stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. And resources like RoleCatcher, with its insightful guides and cutting-edge AI, can really be invaluable partners on that journey.
This deep dive has been so helpful. I feel much more prepared and confident about going into that bank manager interview.
Remember, preparation is key. Embrace the challenge. Showcase your unique skills and experiences, and never stop learning. You got this.
This has been The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.